So what I was talking about just now was before, when the business wasn't growing. We were making okay funds, but we weren't making enough to sustain ourselves.
Gotcha.
So we switched up the model to create that growth.
Yeah.
Now
the other side.
Now we're on the other side,
right?
Which is a blessing. But what's the other side, Queen?
When your business is growing, and maybe it's growing fast.
Over 50% of Black Americans are unmarried, and only 2% of Black families in America have a net worth over $1 million.
We are on our journey to not only join that 2%, but grow that 2%.
Facts. I'm Devon Truvel, creator of Black Wall Street, the board game, with my beautiful co-host.
I'm Sinclair, aka the Health Nerd. You can go to our website at them4show.com, our Instagram at them4show, and our YouTube channel at Melanated Married Millionaires in the making.
And welcome to the M4 Show. So we're going to just go over some signs that you might need to take a business retreat. All right. Queen.
Yes.
Get us into sign number one, or what was a sign for us, or what might be a sign for other folks with businesses.
So I feel like sign number one can be one side of a two-sided coin. Mm-hmm. You could either be that your business is growing, right? Maybe you have a lot of growth happening. You got a lot of opportunities coming up. Yeah. And so you need some time to really stop and figure out how you're going to scale your business. The other side is maybe your business is not growing. Maybe it's been stagnant for some time, right? Or even declining. And you need to, again, stop and figure out, okay, what is going on? Where is the growth? Yeah. And so I think either situation, you need to stop and figure out what's going on and kind of reevaluate.
Nice. So that's the position that we've been in both,
yes.
Right? I think we were maybe 2 years ago in a situation where Black Wall Street or Play Black Wall Street was getting some good sales, right? Mm-hmm. Consistent sales, but we weren't really seeing the return that we wanted to be able to take this into a full-time venture.
Yep.
Right. Board games are cool, right? But those are like, $40 each, $30 each. We tag in the shipping, we tag in the discounts in there. We were only making like $15 to $20 per board game. And then, we get a lot of love from y'all, but not full-time business love. So we took the time to really figure out, all right, what's a pivot? What's a little bit of a business change that we can make to generate more income? Mm-hmm. So about 2 years ago, we started to shift, still showing business to customer love, but our main business model became business to business, mm-hmm. right? So how can we not just sell 1, 2, 3 board games to individual families, but how can we sell 30 board games, 100 board games, 200 board games to a group? Or how can we do workshops, speaking engagements to just generate more money per customer? Because we believed in what we do. We still believe in what we do, but we wanted to make sure it was sustainable, right, long term, right? So taking a look at, okay, am I making the funds that I want to make? If not, is there a business model shift? Is there a different primary customer that I might be able to focus on instead to generate more income?
And I think that business model shift, right? It may not be business to customer to business to business. That may not be the transition for everybody, but maybe you're offering a one-off service, and instead of a one-off service, you can turn it into a subscription, right? Different things that you can think about if you're able to remove yourself a little bit from that day-to-day process, which is why we're recommending, we're saying a business retreat, because I think that the aspect of a retreat is you go away. Right. You go away from someplace. It doesn't have to be far. We were an hour away from where we lived. It was just the aspect of getting out of our normal everyday offices where we do our work, away from the daily grind for a moment, to really think about things outside of the daily grind, the daily hustle, the daily firefighting. And so there's still work that needs to be done on a daily basis. But I think just removing yourself, getting into a new space helps give you a clear mind a little bit.
For sure. Look, we're going to get right back into the amazing podcast. But if you didn't know, in 2017, we created Black Wall Street, the board game, because we thought more families needed to know about the history of Tulsa Black Wall Street. More families needed to know about the legacy of Black excellence left behind of Tulsa Black Wall Street, that we can own a Madam C.J. Walker Beauty Salon. We can have a Booker T. Washington High School. We can have an Uncle Steve's Barbecue. We can have a Renaissance man like Simon Berry, who had his own taxi service and bus service that got bought out by the city of Tulsa. We have brilliance in our DNA. We wanted to make sure that your family can play a game that teaches them about this brilliance. So we have Black Wall Street, the board game right here. We had the first edition available in 2017. That got sold out. We're on the second edition right now, or you can get the beautiful masterpiece version of the game as well. It's up to you. Head to playblackwallstreet.com and get yourself Black Wall Street, the board game, to empower you, your family, and generations to come. Playblackwallstreet.com. Let's get back to the episode. And so you said there's two sides to a coin. We talked about the one side, right, where you're not making enough money, or the money that you think your business should be outputting. What was the other side?
And we talked about the growth. We talked about your business is growing. So the other side is that your business is not growing.
Gotcha. So what I was talking about just now was before, when the business wasn't growing. We were making okay funds, but we weren't making enough to sustain ourselves.
Gotcha.
So we switched up the model to create that growth.
Yeah.
Now
the other side
now we're on the other side,
right?
Which is a blessing. But what's the other side, Queen?
When your business is growing, and maybe it's growing fast. Maybe you got an opportunity where, your business is going from, again, one business model to another, or, one set of customers to another. We've got a program that's going from a certain number of schools to a larger number of schools.
Yeah, shout out to Lit. We appreciate all y'all.
Yes. And so we have to make sure that we are set up for success there, because that's a scale. Right, we're scaling our business, and so it doesn't. If you're going from, like, again, kind of a small number of customers to a larger number of customers, it's not always like relatable of just going from we're going to do the same thing and just do it more. There's like different things now you have to put in place, right? Because we can't just do the same thing 20 different times with 20 different schools. We have to create an automate.
Automate is definitely the right word.
Automate the process as much as we can. Come up with a very standard process so that it's plug and chug, rather than us trying to react each time to every school.
Exactly. So your business might be in a position where you're making cookies, right? You're making cookies for a small set of customers. Maybe it's 10, maybe it's 20, but you're in a good situation where you can handle making 10 to 20 cookies per week by yourself. But out of nowhere, you get a contract that says they want 100 cookies. They want 100 cookies next week. Like the Queen said, the model that you use to make 10 might not be the same model that can work to make 100. Right. So now you need to figure out, okay, am I going to hire people? Am I going to write down the standard operating procedures for these cookies? Write down the recipe? You know our folks don't be writing down recipes.
They don't. They
grandma don't be writing down nothing.
They let the God speak to them.
Yeah, just let the cookie God speak to them. Let the Play Black Wall Street folks speak to them. But when you're trying to scale that company, you really need to make sure you're writing down those SOPs so you can duplicate your skills, duplicate your geniuses. So now instead of just one chef in the kitchen, you have 10 people that are cooking 10 cookies. So now you can fulfill that contract, right? So any type of business is the same thing. You have the person that generates the value, whether it's health coaching and webinars, whether it's creating curriculums for high school students to build their business. There's a particular person that generates that value, generates that product. You need to figure out how can you duplicate that person or automate that person, automate that person so that they can fulfill more orders in a shorter amount of time. And that's where a retreat comes in. Yep. Right. You better take your time. Maybe now you can create that content. You can write that SOP. You can make those training videos. You can hire that staff. You can do what you need to do within that week to strategize. That way afterwards, boom, you can hit that ground running. Right. Thank you for supporting the M4 show and our mission to increase the wealth of Black families.
If you received any value from this episode, any value at all, any, do us a favor and give us a like and subscribe on YouTube and Apple, Spotify, anything, all of them, all of them, wherever you're listening, go ahead and like and subscribe.
And after you like and subscribe, make sure you send this episode to at least one family that you really want to see win. We'll catch y'all next time. Peace.